Okay, it's been a while since I've filmed one of these, so let's see where this goes. It's currently Monday, the 10th of March, 2025, and on Wednesday, I was officially diagnosed with ADHD. Probably not a surprise to a lot of people, but I actually had no idea this was even a possibility until about 2021, when I started meeting other people, other girls who were also struggling with the same things as me. And I felt just inspired and kind of motivated to do a new project. Very ADHD of me. And with that being said, I thought I would do an ADHD series, and that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a series of going through the motions, of explaining a little bit very briefly about my sort of symptoms and struggles, and just to make people feel less alone if they're going through the same thing and you might suspect that you have it but you're not really sure how to cope with it, and how it goes when you start medication as well. So I'm 30 and essentially I've struggled my whole life to be able to do just like mundane normal tasks. Like this hair I have not washed for like a week, and that is so vile and disgusting to admit on the internet. God, but it's so true. It's so true. I'm probably not going to keep that in. There are many symptoms that you might suffer with if you have ADHD. One that I most commonly struggle with is emotional dysregulation. There are 3 different types of ADHD. There is hyperactive and impulsive, inattentive, or combined, meaning you struggle with enough of both to be able to call it the combined version. So I'm going to read out a couple of the hyperactive symptoms. So you might have excessive fidgeting or tapping or moving of some kind, difficulty staying seated, feeling restless, struggle to stay quiet whilst participating in activities. So this could have been when you were at school and maybe you'd struggle to like keep quiet in class, so you'd be like a chatterbox. Always on the go, can't keep up with them, excessive talking, interrupting or trouble waiting your turn. I really struggle with this. To me, I'm just joining in conversation because that's how my whole family kind of talk together. But now I'm thinking, do we all have it? Impatient. I have terrible patience. I really want to get better, but it's kind of like, can I? I don't know. This is what we're going to find out. Intruding other people's conversations or activities, so just like interrupting fully into anything possible. So that's the hyperactive side. And then for inattentive, you will have difficulty focusing, inability to follow through with instructions and complete tasks, distracted with unrelated thoughts. So I very frequently go off on a tangent. I can't help myself. Careless mistakes or overlooking important details. Now, when I used to work in retail, I hated it. I didn't get on with it at all. I didn't get on with any job. I always felt like I didn't fit in and would just fuck up so easily. And to me, I'm given 110% because that's my capacity. My capacity might be here, and that's my 110%, but it might be with a regular person's like capacity, that might be like 40%. But I was giving my all and I'd still miss things off the list because there'd be a written list and they'd be like, you've read the list, right? And I'm like, yeah, but that's my brain not intaking the information correctly due to ADHD. I'll read emails and I will respond to them incorrectly. So now I'm super hyper aware of it to make sure I look at things over and over and over again before I reply, because I'm so now self-aware all these years later why I make these mistakes. My brain overlooks really important details. And this might be why, if you have like some ADHD friends yourself, we're concerned we're going to respond incorrectly. So we have to genuinely take time on each point you've given us in that conversation. More of the inattentive ones. Look, I went off on a tangent. Oh my God. Okay, difficulty listening when spoken to. So they might sort of like zone out or start stimming. I circle my hands. I've never said this on the internet before. I circle my nails to try and keep myself engaged when I'm doing something. So I'm constantly fiddling with my hands when they're not on show. Unable to organise tasks and manage time. So time blindness is a big problem for me. So when I was younger, I would always be late for my taxis to go to school or go to college because I have intermittent agoraphobia. I'd have to travel in a certain way in a certain time and I'd still be late. I'd get up hours and hours before, fit in all my other tasks that are just procrastination and avoidance, because like avoidance demand is like a big thing as well. Hesitant to take on tasks that require sustained focus. So those books you can see stacked in the background there, I have bought them over time and read until a week ago, like the first line over and over and over again of just one of them. Now, I wanted to prove to myself that I could actually read, because as silly as it sounds, I really want to be able to get into that kind of a non-screen hobby. So I gave myself this task of just try and get past the first line, and then after about 15 minutes of trying to do that, which sounds insane, but I just go back, I read the first line again, my brain and my eyes just naturally just shift to the first line. I can't continue, I've not took it in, it's not painting a picture in my head, and it's a constant battle inside. I don't know if any of you relate to that. But then I managed to actually get past the first page, and I was just like, I was in shock almost, because it's took me years and years and years to be able to just do this. I think the last book I read was The Truth Cookie when I was like 14, and I don't even know if I really read it, because I opened the book not that long ago and I don't remember a single thing about it. So I'm pretty sure I was just doing the motions of looking at words, and they were just words on a page, and it just turns into a big blur and no picture is painted in my head. Even though I'm a very imaginative, creative person, like I could imagine a really detailed apple and it's red and there's like condensation on it and it's got like a little spotlight because it's food photography. Like my brain can make that shit up, but it can't picture a book. So I got past that first page, and then by some miracle I managed to read 3 chapters. Those chapters, bear in mind, it's that top book there, it's quite a small book, but I managed to read 3 chapters and they're about 10 pages each, and I felt so achieved. I felt emotional. I think I probably cried because I was so proud of myself. With my emotional dysregulation, I'm telling myself right now, don't cry, because I could, because we finally have an answer. I'm not just, well, I am weird, but I'm weird in a medically correct way. That felt like a huge task, and that's why I always struggle to take on tasks that require sustained focus. Losing important items, I've left my phone in the most random places every single day. Most memorable one was finding my phone in the fridge of a caravan fridge when we went on a Haven holiday when I was about 19. If my friend Becca watches this by any chance, you'll know the holiday, you'll know the moment. That is actually a problem for me. I also lost my passport for like 3 months before I needed to do my proof of, what is it called? When you go and get married and you have to like give your notice, basically. I lost my passport, so I had to order a new birth certificate and use my mom's birth certificate when I could have just given my passport in, so yeah. I'm a mess. Forgetfulness, events, meetings, deadlines, the amount of things that I forget. I have to put it in my diary. I have to make it a routine to open my diary. And then if I don't look at my diary at all, then I'm absolutely buggered. So I have to be as organised as I possibly can be to try and avoid these situations that are inevitably going to happen. Really good example of this was that I currently have my phone on low power mode, and you'll notice there's probably been an angle change because yeah, I ran out of storage. So welcome to my brain. So that was a little introduction to it. The next video is going to be explaining how I went about reducing a diagnosis time from 5 to 10 years to 4 months by the service that I picked. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave a little comment. I want to hear your story too. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah.